All right, here we are. You can't say that I'm on time because I actually hit play before the software was ready, and I wasn't even sure if it was going to play because it's saying you're live in 30 seconds, and I realized, oh shoot, I hit it early. But I am definitely on time. Have an interesting show tonight. Sorry I missed last week. I'm glad my eyes are obscured by my glasses, but allergies are just hell to me right now, and unfortunately making it really, really difficult to see at this point. Um, I was noticing somebody in the chat here when I guess this is wow, interesting thing. I guess there's a YouTuber, Jason Goodman, who's calling me a social engineer, which is interesting. I've never known that. Um, Gina in the chat is talking about this. And Gina, can you go ahead and email me the information at erichunley.com/contact? There's a form there and anything can come through because that's kind of weird. I try to avoid YouTube drama, but I guess I'm going to get pulled in one way or another. So very interesting. But this week's all about drama, right? We have the slap that was heard around the world. And very sadly, we have Bruce Willis is no longer going to be an actor. He's retiring. I actually have an insider story about that. I did know about this about two or 3 months ago. And it was one of those where I was told the story and I was like, wow, fascinated to hear it. But then I was completely sad going, I hope it's not true. Now, really quickly before we go into the show, I want to plug something. There's an individual, and I see her in the chat, and that's Ziggy Shrugs. And Ziggy is an amazing artist who has been so kind as to make really, really awesome things for me. If you'll look over my shoulder here, you'll see two things that she made. This just came in for this network. I mean, this is some news show, but Laid Back News is the network and the channel. And she made this amazing piece for that. And right next to it, you can see America's Untold Stories. Hold on. And now it is lit. And if you look up over the shoulder here, we have the original piece, the Eric Hunley transom window. So I am overwhelmed and blown away by what work Ziggy has done, aka Sarah. Really, 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 just I'm super flattered. I don't have enough words to really thank her enough, and I hope that shouting her out can cover some of that because she does amazing work. Yes, I am standing up. I have a standing desk because I feel like if I'm standing, I have more energy to talk to you and be more into the show. It just really, really helps. So if I'm sitting, I might naturally kind of, well, the next headline is, and I think it's better to stand up because I'm trying to be here and be present and really get into it for everybody watching. It's very, very, very important to me. So now on tonight's show, I have Alison will be coming in, and we have a guest who should be joining anytime. I'm not sure, but Andy the Game Maker. And Andy the Game Maker created a game called Cryptocurrency. I probably should have brought it upstairs to show everybody. It's really neat. He, I believe, works in cybersecurity. He's a former military, ran a Kickstarter, and created his game for himself. And he has a YouTube channel. And I have been on his channel as an interview. He may be... Thank you, Talex. I'm a stand-up guy. Well, and here he is.
Hey, Eric. How's it going?
You may know Andy. I don't know how to say your last name, so help me
out. It's the Game Maker.
Okay. Okay, then there you go.
Yep.
Andy the Game Maker.
Internet's a crazy place to be. So yeah, try to keep. And you know what? It's good to have a life. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, very famously, he is the big brother, I think, of the comment I just brought up, Legal Bites.
Yep. Hello, Legal Bites.
I'm not sure if either of one of them wants to claim it, but you know, it is what it is. Let me change the background.
Oh, I claim it. I claim it all the time. It's she's the one who might deny it from time to time. She's like, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe you just said that."
I haven't got a chance to see your show together. Look at these backgrounds. Oh, that's a nice background.
That's a fun one. I like that. This is new. I haven't seen this one. I mean, everyone's been using StreamYard, but you're are you
no. I'm working with these guys and helping them with the software. I put a link in the description. Anybody who wants to try it out, it just came out of beta. It's not 100% perfect, but the options on this are amazing. Like this.
Oh my goodness, dude!
Trapezoidal, baby.
Dude, we look so cool. My goodness.
That's right. Hey. Anyway, I love what they're doing. Notice that you have two things. You can say Andy Game Maker and your crypto or Twitter handle.
Yes, that's correct.
You can't do that on StreamYard. So there's a lot of different features. I could also say, Andy, you know, you're just a little much for me. So let me.
Oh my goodness. I feel diminished. It's okay. I feel diminished.
Well, that's fine, as it should be, because my ego will fill this screen, whatever I do.
I should share with you a meme that I made when my sister came on. For those who didn't see it, hold on. Let me see if I can. I'll send it to you over Twitter,
okay.
and then you can share it with everyone. It was pretty funny. I made it on the fly when I was speaking with her.
I hope it wasn't one of the rehearsed little pre-conflict things.
No. Yeah, let's see here. Oh, is it not letting me share it? Hold on. Oh, okay. This is me being technically, although I would argue I'm actually not technically inept. I'm actually pretty tech savvy. But
I'll tell you what, I work in tech. Okay. So I can understand the issues of that, because when you're putting on a show now, so you understand some of this.
Oh, for
I'm
sure.
live, and my patience level for myself is, you got to get this link up. It's got to be a smooth transition. It's got to be perfect.
Oh, for sure. Here we go.
And I watch it back later. I'm like, why was I stressing out? That was only a half a second, but it feels like 8 seconds for me. Like, 1001 people are leaving. They're leaving this. They don't want to hear it. They're over it.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
So that's the problem. You can get caught up in your own head trying to figure out and be somewhat professional. And isn't that cute? Okay. And I don't like talking about the links and things like that. I really do try to make it somewhat smooth. It doesn't always work, but I try.
For sure. Yeah. You know what though? But we we forge forward, right? Yep. That's me sometimes.
You're a big bird. I don't know what I am, because I'm the only non-lawyer in LawTube.
Well, no, I guess technically we are both. I guess this is technically the both of us.
Sometimes. Yeah.
I would say more me, given the nature of my my presence sometimes. Things that I do.
That's crazy, man.
For sure. But thanks for inviting me on. I really appreciate it. And this is man, I'm really digging this whole wave video thing.
Yeah, I like what they're doing. And again, well, there's a link in the description. You know, please use it. It's an affiliate link. I think you could try it for free or whatever. But
okay,
I'm trying to promote them out, and I love it no matter what, because there are things that they have done that I think StreamYard has already adopted. So the more competition we have, the better the products are going to be all around.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, you think you like it now. I've done this in other streams, and it's always risky, but it's very fun. I am going to make you a co-host.
Uh-oh.
And then now you can see everything I do. You can pull up your own chats, and that gives you an idea of exactly how this view and everything works.
Oh, amazing.
Allison.
I can't hear you. Hang on.
All right, no problem. I'm going to make her a co-host as well.
Okay.
Amazing.
What's funny is when you put a bunch of childish lawyers on and make them co-host, then it gets really crazy, because everybody starts picking on each other and muting everybody and always having good fun stuff.
For sure.
All right. So I don't know if she hears us yet.
I can, but I also hear somebody talking about Elon Musk on my computer, and I can't figure out who it is. Okay, I did. I
Find the
just shut it
tab.
down. It was somebody on Odyssey. I don't know why.
Find the tab. Find the tab. Oh,
Sorry.
you're coming in hot. Can you back up the gain just slightly?
I don't know how to do that.
Okay. Well,
I can just push the microphone away from my face.
well,
How's
that I guess that's the old school version. Actually, Chad, is everybody pretty even sound wise? Go and let me know as we go. Okay, so we have a full. Yes, Allison has professional lighting. Allison is a professional. There has to be a journalist in the room.
I just left hot yoga. All right, I just left Bikram yoga. It's in a 105-degree room. I have no makeup on. My hair is caked in sweat. I do take this very seriously, though. Okay.
Yeah,
Shout out to the yoga people. I did yoga for about 45 minutes this morning. So yeah.
Nice.
So,
what kind do you do?
Oh, I just did some deep stretching. I did yoga with Adrian on YouTube. So.
Oh, okay. I have to check this out.
You're not familiar with yoga with Adrian?
I don't think so.
Yeah, she's great. She does like
she's got over 1 million
level stuff.
She's got over 1 million
really?
subs. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So
no, she's huge. I've used her because she has like yoga for fat, out of shape people. She doesn't call it that, but that's essentially what it is. And like I can hang on that for like 20 minutes.
My wife is a really big fan of Boho Beautiful. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that on YouTube, but she is very much. She would watch. What's kind of crazy is like not to go too deep on. She's very attractive is what it is. And so she can pull in a really big audience, and that's why like when she films, she has these like really exotic locales. She's on an exotic beach somewhere. She's on a frozen tundra in like northwestern Canada, and she just goes to all these really far away places, and she does really intense yoga. Yes,
it's not a green screen.
No. It's legit. It's legit. I'll have to. Maybe I'll just share it on my. You know what? Follow me on Twitter. I will share a video. There you go.
Yes. Go ahead and do that.
Go to Crypto Cartel G. I will share a video.
Hold on, though. Is she better than the very famous yoga instructor married to a very famous actor, the notorious Hilaria Baldwin, who was born in Boston, Massachusetts?
I'll be honest. I think Boho Beautiful is actually pretty intense with the yoga. Like she does these things, and she does all these really good moves. It's there's no way I could do some of the intense stuff. My wife, she's much more flexible than I am. She can do it to a degree, but then she has a breaking point watching her.
Thank you, Rose.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's really engaging. I'll just say that it's really engaging watching her do it. So
awesome. Okay,
Alison's fully into this.
I'm listening.
Well,
but
she
I was
is
trying
into
to
it
look
actually.
up this person that you were talking about with the tundra and stuff.
Well, make sure you follow him on Twitter. It's Crypto Cartel G.
Yeah.
Okay.
Under his name, and definitely check it out. So, okay, let's go into the news. I've already got one complaint this evening from somebody saying, I'm tired of hearing about Will Smith. So let's talk about Will Smith.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting a serious CNN Jeff Zucker versus Chris Cuomo vibe on this one. I just have to say right off the top of like looking at this headline that you just brought up, and this is just an immediate reaction because I didn't even know about this. I feel like there's all kinds of stories of sort of these powerful organizations sort of allowing and creating behavior and then being like, oh, we're going to totally discipline you. Like, this is not cool. All right. This is not cool. You're out of here. And I don't know. I thought they even said that they were discussing.
There's two organizations. So before you get too deep into that, this is there is something going on here that's very interesting, and it's almost a trap. So one organization, I can't remember the name of it, but it is essentially the people who do the Academy Awards. And they are doing an investigation, blah, 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 blah. And one of the headlines about this is that they asked him to leave, quote unquote, but he refused.
Yeah, but I'm like, okay. First off, just making sure. The Academy Awards and the Oscars, same thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Right. And so they were saying at the beginning when all this first started that there was talk of having him leave. Now they definitely asked him to leave. So the story's changed since the beginning. And you know what? Then you guys, like, I don't know, have a pair and have him escorted out. Like it just.
Well, you don't have to do anything. There's security in the damn building. Yeah,
That's
don't
what
give
I'm
me
saying.
that.
Like, just get there. Like, this to me is, I don't know. I'm sorry. Like I said, it's like CNN's like, we have ethics here. Like, you should have been following ethics. Like, wait a second. You were letting him promote his brother on live television and running. I don't understand. You know, you guys let him stay the whole, you liked it. I'm sorry. You know, they liked it. They liked it.
Well, no, here's the problem though. That is one group. There's another organization involved too. It's called SAG. I think you remember.
Yeah, that's what I used to be in.
Okay, but this is very significant. SAG is a union and they have guidelines, and you have a case of workplace violence because technically the Academy Awards are work. All of these actors are there working when they show up for these awards. And so you have a SAG actor who assaulted another SAG actor. They can't just step away from it. And people aren't covering that. Mark Robert, my show partner on America's Untold Stories, pointed that out to me and said, hey, you're missing something here. They have to do this. It is a case of workplace violence. SAG is known as one of the most corrupt unions in the country and is investigated continuously. So this is a bigger deal than necessarily meets the eye. The awards stuff, yeah, that's BS. Obviously, if they wanted him to go, here's the idea. You have security everywhere. You could say, please escort Mr. Smith out. Done.
Okay.
Yeah, he's kind of an elite guy, though. That's the thing. Is I think that's at least one piece of the puzzle is that he has a lot of influence in Hollywood. At least,
of course, he does
some decent amount of influence. And I just thought it was interesting because, well, first of all, he's lucky that of all the people he could have hit, it was Chris Rock. To be perfectly honest, I mean, he could have. If he would have hit anyone else, I'm imagining an entirely different situation altogether. And I'm not surprised that because that's the thing is one of the things I noticed about Chris Rock is his like who's in his camp, so to speak. Like he's like a Saturday Night Live alum, and when the first people who came to his back were people like David Spade and Adam Sandler, which I thought was really interesting. And Adam Sandler actually, I mean, say what you will about Adam Sandler and his movies, he's actually a really down to earth guy, who really respectable. Which I think is so.
Yeah, he's
I
talented.
think
he's a talented actor. People don't, it's easy to overlook him, but he's very skilled. But what do you say, Alison, too?
Well, I was just gonna say that in my experience, SAG doesn't care at all unless a particular incident benefits them in some way. You know, I was threatened. One of the producers that I worked with threatened to hit me in the newsroom, and it ended up going into an HR issue, and I had to have a SAG representative with me, and they didn't care. They did not. I mean, and granted, the producer was not a SAG. Well, actually, she may have been a SAG member. I don't know. I know I was a SAG member. SAG didn't care. I mean, so, and I'm not going to get into why, like, who she was and why, all that stuff on this one, but let's just suffice to say that it didn't fit their narrative, and so that was not going to be something SAG-AFTRA was going to have my back for.
And no offense, though, Alison, you're not Chris Rock. You see, I mean, he did not.
In my newsroom, I was Chris Rock. All right.
Okay. You're a rock star. You're a rock star to me, Alison.
Journalist, Eric.
You are a rock star to me, always.
I'm glad I moved the mic away because I'm doing a lot of yelling on this.
Oh, bringing up the energy level. No, you're a rock star to me, but there is that issue. And, the guy who they hired to host the event, I mean, it is really, we're all worried about, it's Will Smith and it's Chris Rock or whatever. But the fact is, if you just strip all the identities away, it's ugly. It's ugly as hell. It is workplace violence. The person you hired, and they did actually finally release a statement saying, we hired this person, blah, 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 blah. They screwed up. Honestly, I would have been fine with it if they just removed his ass from the building immediately. If security went and dragged him out, I don't even want to see his award taken away. I know a lot of people are saying, take away the award, but I'm like, no, that was something that happened beforehand. He won the award for previous work. I think that he should have been dragged out of the building and somebody else had to go take the award because he acted like an asshole and he could not be there to celebrate his moment.
I think that falls in the category of like cancel culture if they would have taken away his award. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that it's not related to actually what he did with the film, right? Give him the award for the film itself. But did you by chance catch Jim Carrey's comments this morning?
Oh, about the $200 million lawsuit that
that part didn't make a whole lot of sense. I just thought it was interesting to see him actually speak up, because I figured he would have been just on the sidelines and be like,
well,
nope,
he's
nope.
normally woke, but where do you fall in this? Because it's confusing. It's like this crosses so many
intersectional car crash. Almost.
It is a car crash because it's like, okay, everybody is black or minority, so you can't get into that. Everybody's powerful, you can't get into that.
Yeah.
Now you could say that Chris Rock was picking on his wife, and a lot of people do, and it's disturbing because I want to go into that too. I did a video with Nate the lawyer, and I stand by my statement on that, which is Chris Rock's joke was actually a compliment, and nobody is paying attention. If you break it down, tell me, what was G.I. Jane? Allison, what was G.I. Jane? What was it about?
Well, it was Demi Moore, wasn't it?
It was Demi Moore. She was a woman trying to be a SEAL.
Like a badass in the military.
Right. She was trying to be a SEAL
in the Navy,
or Special Forces.
Yeah. SEALs, yeah.
And she had to fight against all kinds of strife about the men who didn't want her to do it. And in a moment of pique or whatever, she shaved her head to say, oh, screw you, and, went in hard. So in essence, G.I. Jane was a badass warrior. Yeah. So he was calling Jada Pinkett Smith, who has a condition like other people who have cancer and shave their heads when they have cancer because they're losing their hair. She has alopecia, shaving her head to fight the condition. He called her a warrior. And if you note, when Will Smith went, or before Will Smith went up, the audience went, whoa. He said, this is a nice one. Because Chris Rock meant it as a nice one. I really do believe that. He was like, he was confused. And then later on, when Will Smith is like, don't take my wife's name out of your effing mouth. He was like, dude, it was a G.I. Jane joke. I really think he was doing a light joke and saying, hey, badass. I want G.I. Jane too. You're a badass. And nobody is looking at it that way. It's just immediately, picking on her for a condition. I don't think it was that. And people are missing the whole point. So even the joke itself, some could say it's dumb. Some could say it's a softball, no matter what level. But even the joke was kind of a compliment.
And then did he actually know she had alopecia when she?
I heard later that he did not know that.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs. That's where it gets murky.
That's my grief with a lot of people nowadays, is that we forget that to be charitable. When people, when you say, where it's like, okay, he probably didn't know this, so I'm gonna go easy on him in this moment. Because
there was a grudge because of 2016 too. In 2016, his joke was very direct at her, and
oh my goodness,
that one was actually pretty funny because what was
I don't remember that.
Well, remember Oscars so white hashtag?
Oh, right, yeah.
Well, that was her. And she boycotted the Oscars. Oh. Chris Rock was the host, and he said,
she sort of boycotted it. I just want to
okay, well, whatever. But she made a big deal saying, I'm boycotting them, blah, 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 because there isn't black representation. Well, okay, but his joke still was there, and he said, Jada Pinkett Smith boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited.
Yes, that's it.
Oh, snap.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So, but if you think about it, I would call her a tiny bit of grandstanding. That's my word. You don't have to claim it. But I feel like he shat all over that with that joke. And the grudge kind of started there. There's a little bit of a history in it. And I think the joke's pretty funny about the panties. But whatever.
That was like 6 years ago, wasn't
it? Yes. And
that's such a long time.
These are slights. These
are
Yes, these are like royalty. They're our royalty, and how dare you insult? How you dare insult our royalty?
I think that is my point, Eric. Is that it's these people who are just, oh my gosh, people just say, oh, how awesome they are on such a regular basis, that when it doesn't happen in that moment, maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's just in that moment where they where they felt completely exposed by what was going on by Chris Rock, that they're like, oh no, they're like, what do I do? This isn't normal. However, I will say, I know you and I, Eric, were having a sidebar about this ahead of this stream. I think you have to take into account that I think Will Smith legit. I mean, people I've seen some comments about being narcissist. Yes, that's true. However, I think Will Smith had some legitimate like mental health issues, at least to some degree. Again, just giving him the benefit of the doubt of
Sure,
what he's going
there's
through.
a lot
Married
there.
to a psychopath at this point.
Well, no, his mother was beaten very severely by his father. He felt like
I
he
didn't know
never
that.
stepped in when he was growing up. There's the whole question of whether she's a beard. There's that,
Oof.
you know,
I've heard that. I've heard that allegation.
there's that out there. There's questions about their relationship. Allison, you've heard, right, that they have a quote open marriage or some wonkiness with that. These all add up. It's a death 1,000 cuts. And I hate to. Okay, I'm going to pick on Will now a little though and say it's very handy when you get really, really mad that the guy's 5'7", about $110, and you're 6'2", that you can then go take action.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But
what was insane is the eruption of comments following that on Twitter, basically saying, Dave Chappelle, you're next. More along the lines. Joe Rogan,
that,
you're
and
next.
what about his son? What about his son who said that's how we do it? That's what he tweeted. So it's like, oh, good, we got another generation. Will Smith's son.
Yeah, he's.
I don't know what his gender is, by the way.
Again, like he's done some really, really unique things. I'm trying to be polite here. I don't want to like disparage him too much here. But basically with I think it's Jaden Smith is his name.
Yeah.
Jaden.
His or her, because he's got this weird. I wonder if it's a they. Jaden's interesting.
I'll stick with the name Jaden. Jaden Smith here has done and said some very interesting things over the past couple of years, and I think that's what happens when you are in that bubble for so long, is that you don't realize what it's like out in the real world with other people, with people who actually have.
Well, Star Kids notoriously have big problems.
Oh, for sure, yeah, for sure, yeah. But there's a lot of mental issues. I think there's definitely a mental issue going on. And there's even, like supposedly Will Smith was suicidal at one point not too long ago.
Well, I mean, come on, there's a lot going on. It could be, but Alison, what about the ramifications in the future? Like, are you not concerned for all stand-ups that now that a pass has been given? I mean, Will Smith assaulted him and got an award 15 minutes later with a standing ovation. Celebrated.
Yeah.
So now we just said heckler's veto is okay if you're the right person.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know I'm a little bit skeptical of the media narrative, which I've seen a lot of headlines recently about how like most Americans support the slap, and but I haven't heard, like, I don't know anyone who supports the slap. And so I don't know. I'm hesitant to say like most people are just like, if you were in other words, if you were holding back because you hadn't seen a celebrity do it yet, and now it's like, oh, damn, I can do that. That's why you're going to do it. I think you probably were going to do it anyway. I guess I question whether I know a lot of comedians are saying that it makes them less safe. I can see their point. I also, though, think that it's like, anyone who was not going to slap you is not going to change their mind because of this.
Okay, well, what about just Chris Rock?
Freaked out on you, probably would have freaked out on you anyway.
Okay, well, what about just Chris Rock then? Because now we got all the Will Smith fans out there who may want to attack Chris Rock wherever he performs for the rest of his life.
But how many of those Will Smith fans are now former Will Smith fans? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I wonder.
There's too much support. It's actually really kind of scary because
is there?
There's a lot of support of saying, even like Piers Morgan. I know he's not a high stature individual, but he's like, that's what a man. And it's like, it's so caught up in this whole thing of, I'm going to defend my wife. And
yes, I heard that too. I heard that from some other like pundits, conservative pundits, and I'm shocked. I'm shocked that there are guys out there.
Which conservative pundits?
The biblical way to defend your family. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, I'm sorry, but to me that was like, to reference one of the famous YouTubers, that was the most beta male move I've seen in a long time. If my husband had done that, I would have been so ashamed.
And he never would. I mean, your husband's a badass. I mean, a Marine, sniper, all that. And there's no way in hell he would do it.
I mean, I don't know. To me, it's like, it's almost more sad that there are like a lot of guys out there that see that as manly. like doing that, like what he did. I don't know. That's even more sad to me.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. I think that there's a lot to lose in those moments when you act like that. It just, I've never known someone to respond like that and come out on the other end and be like, yeah, that was a good decision. I'm glad I did that. I mean, I think the fallout from all this is actually pretty. I don't know. I'm pushing back. I'm going to push back on the amount of support. Sure, okay, there might be some individuals, high profile individuals, like Piers Morgans and such like that, who might be supporting them. But I'm not. I don't know.
I think 71% supported it as a poll.
What? I don't believe that.
Who?
I think I had heard, and I don't have it on hand because last minute, but 71% supported him standing up for his woman.
Yeah, but
a lot of these polls can be driven by how you ask the question too.
You know
or
what?
where you go, who you asking?
The People's Pundit on to talk about that, because I mean, I really do wonder about the question they asked and where that came from and everything. Because I like I said, I just have such a hard time believing that most Americans really thought that was awesome.
I'm troubled too, but then again, we have people who are actually promoting limited nuclear war right now. I couldn't believe that. I was on a podcast earlier, and the guest before me was actually qualifying, saying, well, you got to understand that we have nuclear weapons that are like only 1/3 the power of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and they're more tactical. And I'm going, what? That's like being partially pregnant. A limited nuclear? Are you high? Oh my God! Anyway, so I'm not trying to take it out there, but I'm just saying, our people.
Only a few people will die. Only a few people will die.
Yeah, the radiation, half-life is only 60 years versus the 300 year. Oh my God, it is just some. And sorry, but they're out there. So into the last part of this story, because this story keeps giving, and people are tired of it. So I'm going to keep going, keep digging in. The conspiracies. Oh, this is so much fun. One, there are people who are doctoring the photo, supposedly saying that he really had a patch on to protect himself. This one I love. Do you remember seeing this? I didn't even think about it, but this actually was not from this event. This was from 2017 when they read the wrong Oscar winner. But they're using the same image for this incident.
You can't believe everything you see. It's like when I was in the Army, like one of the favorite maxims, if you will, words of wisdom was believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. And I think that just perfectly applies to anything you come across now out of the corporate press.
All true. But then there's the other one. This is not corporate press. This is, if you will, alternative media, whatever you want to put it. But it's the question of whether the whole thing was staged and funded by Pfizer. I know that's
this was my video today. I did this video today for my channel. Yeah.
What Hugo Downs or something? I forget the guy's name.
Hugo Talks.
Yeah, Hugo Talks. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do not think, I have never thought, and I will stand by it. And I'm very circumspect with it. I do a lot of body language. I have all the guests, and I deliberately say that I'm not the expert. They are. I will stand on a Bible or wherever you want. It was not staged. The only possible way it could be staged, and I don't think it is if the only person who knew it was Will Smith. Because I could tell you the reaction from Chris Rock, the reaction from Jada Pinkett Smith, none of that was rehearsed. That was 100% natural. And I think Will Smith was as well. I think that was absolutely a natural occurrence. And a friend of mine, Spidey, who's Spidey Hypnosis, and he does a channel called The Behavioral Arts, did a great breakdown. So great that he got 1.7 million views in 22 hours. And
wow,
I'm blown away, and he gained 30,000 subscribers.
Awesome.
But that's another thing. Anyway, he does a fantastic job breaking it down through the whole thing of how it is real, why it is real, down to a lot of elements. People are saying, why was he leaning forward? And I don't know why that popped up, but okay. Anyway, they were like,
I'm sorry.
Oh, you did that. Okay.
Yeah.
I
made me a co-host. You shouldn't have done that, Eric.
Oh, you see, there we go. I give everybody power. No, that's cool. That's cool. I forget that. He waited till my guard was down. No, go ahead. I don't care if you do.
You're
now
good.
I
You're good.
think about
No,
it.
this is great.
Anyway, he was leaning forward. So people were like, why was he leaning forward? Well, I had thought initially it was a matter of, I'm a stand-up comedian and he's coming up here. This is different. What's going on here? I might get a joke out of it, a curiosity. But Spidey pointed out, because he's a magician who tours, that the lights are in your eyes so much that you are either doing this or, in his case, doing that, because he's too much of a pro to cover his eyes. So he's just trying to see what the hell's going on. And, leaning forward anyway. It's a really good video. I highly recommend everybody check that out. I don't think it was a conspiracy. There's another reason that Pfizer was a sponsor of the event, and it wasn't the slap. Pfizer was a sponsor of the event because Pfizer has the vaccine, and they are claiming credit for the event happening at all, because they're saying if our vaccine didn't happen, you wouldn't have an in-person event. So there's a very real reason that Pfizer is there and banging the drum and doing all that. And I think the premise of your video, Alison, and maybe I'm wrong, is that they surely are taking credit and jumping in with their medication that they've come out with and taking advantage of the event. But I don't think they initiated it. What are your thoughts?
Wow, the ego.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it has to be either or. And yeah, the point I was trying to get across is that, like, a lot of people look at reality either as if everything organically happens or nothing organically happens. So it's like either all of it's staged or none of it's staged. And you can look at a situation like this and say it could have absolutely been an organic event, but then there are all kinds of special interests that are waiting for opportunities like that to frame what happens to their benefit. And so that's where, that's where the staging comes, is that, yeah, there could be something that just happens, but then the narrative that follows that could absolutely be staged by whoever it is that's trying to
they have whole teams, marketing, brilliant. I mean,
yeah. Oh, hey, look at this. This just happened. I mean, the thing I showed everybody in my video is that Pfizer had this press release about its alopecia treatment like a week and a half ago. And they put it back out again on Monday or Tuesday. Like, why do you think they did that? Just because they were, it had nothing to do with this, but they just wanted to make sure with all the, Ukraine news that you saw that they had this thing? Or is it possible that they were sending it out to news stations and calling news stations, And the other thing people need to understand too is, like, I was talking to a reporter friend of mine about this. We didn't ever get calls like from somebody at Pfizer who said, hey, listen, we pay a lot for advertising at your newsroom, and we got this new drug, and it's going to help people like Jada Smith. So, do us a solid and run something on this. That's not how it works. It's like, they contact their medical advisor at some think tank or whatever, and then, or a hospital group that gets a lot of funding or has this thing going on, a trial or whatever. And then that person has a communications spokesperson, and they call the reporter and they say, hey, if you're talking about alopecia today, you should talk to our medical expert who, knows all about this. And so then you're sitting there thinking, oh, well, yeah, that's great. We'll make deadline, and we got a medical expert. We didn't have to make a billion calls to get them. And you're not sitting there thinking like there were 10 people down the line to get you to that one person to say exactly what they want you to say on the news tonight. And there could be 10 other things that you could have said or 10 other people that you could have heard from. But this person has been put in your path for a reason. And that's how a lot of news ends up there. And most people think, if you're seeing something, it's because there was this like payola going on. I've never heard a reporter in an editorial meeting say, we're funded by Pfizer, so we should make sure to say something good about Pfizer today. They all think they're doing something good. So you have to think in a situation like this, if they're running with a particular narrative that benefits Pfizer, how in their minds have they twisted it so that they think that they're doing a solid for the public? And that's where the staging comes from. It's like, how do you not just manipulate the public, but these special interests are manipulating the mouthpieces, and that's where I think the conspiracy really lies. The event itself could have been completely organic, but that doesn't mean that everything after it and the way people are talking about it is organic.
Well, there's a term for it, Alison, and we're YouTubers. We do it. It's called trend jacking.
Hey, speaking of YouTube, I just had a video from 2 years ago removed. Not suspended. I was not suspended this time, but they just removed it for medical misinformation, August 2020. So a year and a half ago.
All right. Well, congratulations. Oh, I'm sure she said the word COVID or vaccine or doctor.
No, it was a doctor who had the FTC come after him because he was posting interviews with his patients on his website for COVID. And they didn't even give me my video. So normally when they take your video down and they suspend you, they keep a version so you can watch it and then write your appeal. They didn't even do that. So I can't find I think if I go back to Odyssey, I go back and look at it and see specifically, but he wouldn't have talked about the I word. Because that wasn't even a thing.
No.
And he was vitamin D. I think
no, he might have said the H word that was bad back then. Remember?
I don't think he was doing that either. But he did maybe say something about hydrogen peroxide. I don't know. But anyway, either way, it's crazy to me that you can have a video up for a year and have this video up. It's the one I'm pretty sure because I did 2 with this doctor, but this one it had 300,000 views almost. It's crazy to me, and you can get 270 or 300,000 views, and a year and a half later, YouTube's this is coming down. It's nuts.
All right, we got Legal Mindset with his crazy foreign currency those Korean dollars, which I'll take. Mocking Andy the Game Maker.
Yes, this hair is.
That's one thing I don't like
that's
about the software is it covers Allison when she was on the bottom when I bring it up. So that's why I changed this out.
Oh, well, I gotta run soon anyway, you guys.
Oh, there we go.
Really nice to meet you, Andy. Thanks.
For sure.
Eric.
I have sure. Thank you.
Duties. I gotta get my kid in the bathtub and everything.
Oh yeah,
right.
I gotta do that in about 20 minutes as well. So.
Oh, that's
we're shutting down at 10 anyway, so that'll work out.
Yep. Yep.
I have to promote your sister's show, which is going on at 10, I believe.
Oh yeah, Eric, can I talk about my wine?
Please.
Okay.
Hold on. Hold on before you do this. Let me see if I can feature you.
AlisonWinePromo.com.
Oh, I'm trying to get it right. Okay. Oh, I'll figure it out. Go ahead.
Go to AlisonWinePromo.com, Alison with 1L, winepromo.com, and get 50% off my favorite Malbecs from Argentina and 50% off shipping. One of the wines uses natural fermentation. Another is from the oldest vineyard in Argentina. And the third in the trio that you will get, again, 50% off the wine itself and 50% off shipping, comes from an extreme altitude vineyard, almost 9,000 feet. So AlisonWinePromo.com, you will not be disappointed, especially if you have it ready to go for this new show and you drink during it. You will definitely not be disappointed because the wine will be great and so will the show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love it. Love it.
Bye,
Slam dunk.
Yeah.
You're like Ben Shapiro.
No, she's like a big time YouTuber that I can bring on here and there. She's got all these sponsors and
next time we'll do my
else.
new glasses. Actually, I would
cool.
I won't promote them, but I do kind of wonder what the chat will say. What do you guys think? What do you like better? My blue ones or these?
The blues pop really well, I personally.
No, but blues have a better shape.
These are the ones I use. These are my sponsors' glasses. I use they're blue blocking, blue light blocking glasses. They're much better than these are at blue light blocking, and so I use them for actual work and editing and stuff. But I'm tied. I think I'm married to these glasses forever because I started wearing them, and now I can't get away from them. So
it's a bold image. I mean, and you went for that. So
yeah, I mean, look, the sweaty hair, the nasty no makeup, all in the blue glasses. I mean, it's an image. What can I do? It's my thing.
Alice is stepping down to my level.
I try. All right, bye everybody.
All right, thank you.
Nice to meet you, Allison. All right.
So on to the next happy story.
Now it's a dude show. Let's do this. No, I'm kidding.
Well, it kind of is. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Willis.
Action packed now, baby.
Yeah. Okay. Aphasia
used to be.
I don't know if it's aphasia or aphasia. I forgot to get the pronunciation right. I actually have a story about this with Bruce Willis because I've been doing the Alec Baldwin stories on America's Untold Stories. Plug. Everybody check it out, please. I'm connected with some people in the industry. And one of these people in the industry, and I just don't want to say their name directly, told me a story, and it was probably 2-3 months ago. And they were saying, I was just working on a set, and Bruce Willis was on the side of a helicopter. They have the door slid open, and he was sitting there inside. And he was supposed to throw his rifle. I don't know, his AR-15 or whatever. Was supposed to throw it out. And they had laid all the padding on the ground and everything else. And they were saying, throw it out, because that was going to be the shot. It was him throwing the weapon. And he yelled, okay, throw it. Nothing. All right, take two. And they kept doing it again. Throw it. Bruce, throw it. Bruce, the padding's down there. Throw it. And he said that somebody turned to him and said, oh, man, it's really bad. It's really bad. He has dementia. Now, it's not dementia. You know, we see what the condition is. The aphasia, or however it's said, is apparently a condition that messes up. Oh, here we go. Aphasia. Okay. Or aphasia. I don't know. See, I'm going to screw it up. I'll find a way to screw it up just to make sure that I'm consistent, it appears. He apparently has this condition, and it's, obviously a terrible thing. He's 67 years old, so I think you could pretty much say, yeah, we're at the end of his career for that. And it is terribly sad. I mean, Bruce Willis is a hero to me. I mean, Die Hard, greatest Christmas movie.
John McClane.
Yeah, that's the greatest Christmas movie ever made.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't care what you say, chat. I don't care what you say. You're just wrong. If you say it's not Christmas, you're wrong. It is the greatest Christmas.
What's really funny about that, talking about just how much of a cultural impact that Die Hard has on American culture in general, is that with like that film, it's, we always talk about big dumb action films, right? Big dumb action films. However,
smart. It was the first smart one.
That's the thing though, is that it's referenced for screenwriting, which I think is really fascinating. Like, and there's a book that's called Save the Cat by Blake Snyder, I believe his name is, who wrote the film Blank Check for all my millennials out there who are watch Disney movies growing up. But at any rate, that movie is like referenced saying, oh, you want a good example of a movie, right? Just go find Die Hard. Just go find the script for Die Hard. And I find that very fascinating, just because, again, big dumb action film, yet people love the screenplay. People use the screenplay as an example.
Because it turned it on its head.
Yes.
It was an action film, but it wasn't big dumb. First off, he wasn't overly muscled. He was a regular guy, balding, all of that. Yep. But most significant element of that movie was he lost his shoes and stepped in the glass. And that vulnerability of the cut feet immediately set everything down. So it was very easy to get behind him because he felt more attainable, more reachable for all of us. He was sweaty. He looked terrible. He was scared. You could feel it. All of these things. And that's what made it, such a completely brilliant movie. And he was a fantastic, what?
Nope. Wrong one. Wrong one. Yeah, there we go. Wow. Oh. Daniel.
Yeah, Save the Cat is a famous screenwriting book.
Yep. Yeah, it's good because it really lays out.
Alan Rickman was also in that, who was also brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't want to, set his.
That guy's a legend. Yeah.
Part.
Yeah, and Rickman, yeah, he kind of got really lucky with a lot of the films that he was in. Like, one of the most underrated films. Not to go on Alan Rickman tangent completely here, but also a Galaxy Quest. That film.
No, that's not underrated. That movie is legendary.
Oh no, but I think what my point though is this: is that it should be lauded even more so than it is. In my opinion,
that'd hard to do. I mean, it's not lauded as much as Groundhog Day, but it's about 3/4 of the way there.
Yeah, but it's great. The point being is when it came out in the theaters, it didn't get the love that it should have, received.
Yeah, it was a sleeper. It was a sleeper, and then that was awesome. I mean, that actually made it kind of get more love perennially. I mean, everyone loves that movie. And he was fantastic with that, and he didn't even completely understand it. That was the funny part.
Yeah,
is he just played it so straight. But as an article to talk about this, apparently other people have had this condition. And Sharon Stone, yes, she had a stroke, and that created the condition from a massive cerebral hemorrhage and the stroke. Other people, Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones. Remember, she had a brain injury, and it has caused problems in a season.
I think I do remember that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, but I didn't realize it was the same condition. So I thought this is cool to bring up. Gabby Giffords, well, when you're shot in the head, yes, that could lead into it, obviously. Who do we have here? Dick Clark. Dick Clark had a massive stroke in 2004, and he suffered from the condition as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Randy Travis also had this condition. He had a massive stroke and had to recover from it. So that's actually, I think, kind of I'll call it a blue pill or whatever you want, because it's like, well, there's some hope.
White pill?
There's other people. Well, yeah, white people. Well, yeah, sorry, white pill.
Blue pill.
There's too many damn pills. I liked it when there was blue and red.
This is the blue pill right here. That's the blue pill right there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah.
You didn't. Way to endorse my joke, Eric. My goodness.
Dude, I didn't see it. I was,
I pull my over my eyes.
Oh, okay. Gosh. Okay. So the monkey can't see.
I need to work on you. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Well, you got to be a more talented writer, and we'll be there. No.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. No. No. But in all seriousness, that's probably why I'm not sure who in the chat knows about this, but I guess Bruce Willis was tied to what was being referred to as the movie factory. Back in 2021, he had like 11 movies released.
Well, he has 9. Yeah. There are 9 right now that are being now there are 9 that are coming out this year that are in post-production.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So, I'm not surprised, because those movies, what's really interesting is they're direct to video is the whole idea. And literally like 90% of the budget is Bruce Willis. They do
or Nick Cage or
yes, the geezer teasers. Yep.
It's what you call how to pay your tax bill or divorce settlement.
Yeah, possibly. Or you have aphasia and the clock is ticking. That's it. That could be the other part of it. No,
Robert De Niro very famously would like to be retired, and he's got a horrible divorce situation. Nick Cage has a very bad tax problem, and I think the past several movies have all gone to the IRS. So you have that. You do have some who want to comfortably go, okay, I'm going to keep getting a check as long as I can. But you do have others who they have debt, they have problems, and they just can't do it. I mean, De Niro's divorce is ugly. There's a special term that you can look up apparently in a settlement. It's out there somewhere about I don't remember. It's like aphasia or something, but it involves defecation on people's chests. Oof. As a kink. But anyway, it just is, it's very, very dark. If you watch America's Untold Stories with me and Mark Robert, you might have crossed this tidbit of information.
Let's do it, everyone. Let's do that.
Yeah, definitely do that. But yeah, you are right. There's other actors who did it before. Gene Hackman, very famously, like in his last years, and Michael Caine. Even still, we're doing just like a dozen movies. I mean, just whatever. You got the budget, you can pay them scale, you pay them whatever, they'll be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They don't really take it that seriously. And I don't blame them. I mean, it's like, hey, it's my job. I'm an actor. So
what's crazy about the whole movie factory, and there's a really good video that I would recommend everyone watch. I'm not sure if the chat's familiar with Red Letter Media, but they did a whole review on this whole Bruce Willis movie factory. And they went through they showed some of the movies that he ended up making, and they're all just like, unfortunately, God bless, Bruce Willis, but they were all basically trash films. They're all Redbox, but they were aiming for a very specific demographic.
Of course, his last big movie was The Expendables, I believe.
Might be.
But yeah, here. Well, let's take a look. We got his IMDb up, and
let's do it.
What does he have coming out? Paradise City. Heard of that? How about White Elephant? Wire Room. Corrective Measures. Dialect Lovers. The Wrong Place. Fortress Sniper's Eye. Vendetta. These all look like the bargain bin at Walmart back when they used to have the CDs in there. Mm-hmm. And just keep going down. Gasoline Out. I mean, are any of these recognizable? Die Hard is Back is short. No, don't think so. Where are we?
Oh my goodness.
The Orville TV series. Well, at least it's a series, and maybe somebody knew it. Death Wish. That's probably
Lego Movie Part 2.
Okay, there we go. Second part. So that's 3 years ago.
But that's also just probably likely a speaking part. So the
right,
what's being asked of him is not like all that.
Yeah, so
Crazy.
Death Wish, in terms of probably acting, 2018, 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And see if I'm right, though. Okay, Sin City, it's a sequel, though. Red 2, sequel. G.I. Joe, Retaliation, 2013. We're getting pretty far back. Good Day to Die Hard, another Die Hard. And then Expendables 2. So I was right. The Expendables is way up in there. And
Right.
I'm not trying to beat them up because, I mean, actors do tend to
It all ends at
wax
some
and
point.
wane.
It all ends at some point. You know, that's just the sad part about it. So,
Yeah, and some can retire and some can't.
yeah,
It's,
that's horrible. I mean, wish him the best, of course. That's just too
oh, I
unfortunate.
do too. He'll always be a hero to me. I mean, he'll always be a tremendous actor, all the way back to Moonlighting and all the way down the line. He'll
sure.
be remembered as
Yeah.
a legend. And I hope he recovers enough to at least make cameos. I mean, like Michael J. Fox, he keeps popping up still, and he's deep into Parkinson's.
Yeah, but aphasia, it sounds like it's comparable to dementia.
Dementia.
You know,
So, and if you can't comprehend what people are telling you, it's probably not helpful for an actor.
No.
Much like that scene that I just described. You can't follow an order because you don't comprehend an order.
Yeah, something as simple as throwing a prop weapon.
Yeah. Well, it's a real weapon that's used as a prop. But anyway, sorry, that gets into the Baldwin stuff.
No.
I mean, that was something that a lot of people didn't realize, because the way they reported it was a prop gun misfired. And it's like, no, it is a gun that is used as a prop.
Right.
So, regardless. So let me see. We are almost out of time. I don't want to cut deep into your sister's show, because I think she is talking about Johnny Depp.
Ooh.
Another actor who is trying to reclaim his career, and in a really dire situation. I absolutely pity Johnny and his situation. I think Johnny's been done pretty poorly.
We kind of come full circle on this whole video then, using Johnny Depp as an ending point, because we start off with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, more or less, and the troubles that kind of exist between the two of them. And now we've leaped to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and that just kind of highlights, I guess, something that just hangs over the whole industry, the culture out there, where it's these people, like, what is it that they truly value at the end of the day? And one of the things that I always like to say is, your choices reflect your values at the end of the day. They really do, quite simply. And I think that's what we saw. So on stage, on live national TV, where I guess people are watching it globally, but still, I mean, whether it's nationally or internationally, it's Will Smith showed who he was, in that moment, unfortunately.
Which, sadly, in the same night, he had his worst moment and greatest moment.
Yes.
In one show.
Yep.
So that's a perfect point. So to cap up on that, Andy, tell us about your game, where people can find you, and start plugging.
For sure. Oh, everyone, thank you so much for joining in on the conversation. Eric, thank you so much for inviting me. You can learn about me and my game. The name of the game is called Crypto Cartel. You can go to my website. It's at andythegamemaker.com, and you can purchase copies there. It's also on Amazon. You can order on Prime if you're really someone who really loves Amazon. However, if you go to my website, I can get more, more of the money goes to me, versus going to the machine that is Amazon. So, and if you'd like, I also have a YouTube channel. It's Andy the Game Maker.
Link is in the description. I did put that there.
Thank you so much, Eric. Yeah. So if you don't mind subscribing, I actually have a really good podcast episode coming out this Friday with my friend Devin T. Adams, who's an entrepreneur. He's also a West Point graduate. He has I don't want to go too much into detail on what we discussed. However, he had some growing up that he experienced while at the academy. So what happens with some people is, when they get in trouble, they get enrolled in what they call the Army Mentorship Program, where they leave the military academy for 2 years. So just to kind of give you a teaser of what he, his journey, it included a deployment to Afghanistan. So before he came back to West Point. So high school kid goes to West Point, 2 years, kind of gets into some trouble, goes in the Army, which, instead of being an officer, he goes with the enlisted folks. He becomes an enlisted guy, and has that whole 2 year journey, comes back, and then has some lessons learned by the time he gets back to the academy. So yes. Yes. So please, yeah. So it'll be on my channel 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time this Friday. So
and if you're not sick of me, I did an interview with him too.
Yeah,
went on
yeah.
for a while. It was extended.
You actually have one of my most engaged, the most engaged video is with me and you on my channel. It's where we just talk about trolling and Michael Malice
so, and everything. Yeah, I don't even remember. It's just like,
yeah,
go. Okay.
Yeah. Tell me about yourself.
I don't know
Eric.
what I said.
Yeah.
But those are the best videos if you just kind of lay back and just talk. I mean, I'm relatively unfiltered and I don't think too deeply because I'm not the brightest candle on the cake. Hey, Photo Chad, thank you, sir. When's he going to be on your show? And I got to get you on mine too.
Nate. I got ideas for Nate to come on my show too. So I don't worry, Nate. You're on my list. Believe it or not, I'll be reaching out to you in all good time. And he actually played my game at my parents' house when he was out in Southern California.
Oh, cool.
So he, this is coming authentically. His words did not tell him to say this. So
oh yeah, I saw pictures of that. True. Speaking of which, he played the game with you and your sister, who is Legal Bites. Yes. She has a show going right now. So I'm going to close out. But before you leave, folks, please hit the like and consider subscribing before you go. This is a new channel, and I am trying to build it out as much as I can. And I'll see you Friday with a lawyer panel, maybe with Legal Bites.
And you can follow me on Twitter at CryptoCartelG right there, as it says right there. So thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.